So
been 4 months.
4 months.
This is Stitch 27 of the Knitter's Gotta Knit podcast. We missed y'all.
we did. It's been, I feel like we've had a whole holiday season.
Yeah, I have a
so
happy Halloween, happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, happy birthday, Darlene.
happy birthday, Carrie.
Happy Veterans Day, happy Valentine's Day, and happy President's Day. We had all that while we were
So,
gone.
And
So-
we just had a lot going on. So
And I
we put it
had
on.
surgery. I had a bladder surgery. It wasn't anything major. Thank you everybody for your well wishes. And I was just out. So I didn't come back until January 14th here to work. And so we're recording about a month later. So since I've been back.
And it was miserable at work without her. I cursed her every day.
That's
No.
now you know what I feel
So-
like when you go on your 3-week vacation.
It was horrible. I was like,
It's
I missed her
terrible.
so much. So I was glad when she came back. And
I was happy to come back as well. Not really to work, but
and I'm gonna put this out there, and I'm gonna try to like do it really quick, so that it can be over with. Okay, but I had part of the reason also was we lost Susie, our dog. I thought I could do this without this, but I just wasn't in the. I just didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't put it on social media,
I completely understand.
and so that was another reason
I lost Max. I did have him on social media when he was paralyzed from his back legs, and I did have to put him down because he did not have a very good quality of life. And
Yeah,
that all happened
so-
last year, and
So
just-
it was just hard, and it was really
It was
hard,
hard.
and so anyway, we'll get on past that. But that was another reason we haven't podcasted.
and the
in
great
4
news
months.
is we each have like 20 finished objects.
We have lots of hats, so we have like been kicking out the hats lately, and we're doing this new this called Year of the Hats with. I wrote it down. Wool Needle Hands.
Wool Needle Hands.
It's with Taylor. She's the dyer behind Fiber for the People, and she does this hat a hat a month. And Shyla, she's like, I like this new hat Kelly are doing because
She talked me into it. I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
But I thought, I had a month. I think I can do that. And you know what? I've probably done 2 or 3
Oh
hats a
yeah,
month.
we each have. I mean, we've done so many hats, and
I don't wear a
so
lot of hats, but Paige does.
Her daughter does. My daughter does.
And of course Peyton.
And Peyton and Casey even is benefiting
her
from
son,
it,
and
so.
we're going to get some for Kagan and Brinley and the whole 9 yards. So
So I'm enjoying it. I love to make hats. So
they're a very fast, quick gratification.
yeah, when
You know,
a
like,
sweater.
oh
Oh my
finished
gosh.
something, you know? Yeah, a sweater, I don't even know how many sweaters I have on the needles because they start to become a slog, and I will finish them all one day, but anyway.
So anyway, we're glad to be back.
Yes, we are. We are
And,
glad to be
and
back.
hopefully that we were talking about it, and I get stressed out and overwhelmed with the 2-week commitment. So
Of the podcast.
Of the podcast.
So we're going to go monthly here.
So we're going to do it monthly. I will tell Carrie I will commit to a month, but every 2 weeks is just too much for me.
It's a lot. It's a
So-
lot. It's a lot of work. You guys all hug and love on your podcasters that, are faithful with recording all the time, because sometimes I don't know how they do it.
I have no idea how they do it.
Yeah,
Hats off to y'all.
Yeah,
So-
hats off to everybody else but us. We suck, and we
we know it.
we know it, and we've proved it.
And I tell you, thank y'all for the people that has reached out that said, "Are y'all going to podcast again?" Because
Yes.
I actually was ready to hang up the hat.
She was.
I didn't want to do it anymore. I'm not good at it. I think I look ridiculous on the thing, and I don't like to look at it. And
She doesn't like to look at the camera.
and
she
so-
doesn't look ridiculous. She's
so
the cutest thing.
well, thank you, but it's really taken me out of my comfort zone.
It has.
So thank y'all for the people that has said come back, because I wasn't planning on coming back.
Yeah, she wasn't. I was getting ready to do a podcast without her to say,
Darlene's a loser and bye.
no, just, she doesn't want to do it anymore, and I'm signing off. But we have gifts to give away.
We do.
We promised gifts. We have not forgotten. We have taken forever to get you these gifts, and I'm so sorry, and to do the drawings and the whole 9 yards, but we have them. We're finally podcasting.
So do you want to get
We
that out
have
of the
them.
way?
Yes.
Well, I may not get it out of the way, but, you know, get it out of the way.
I have 8 panda, I'll hold them all up, but I'm gonna end up dropping them. So I have 8 panda
And they're the
clicks.
cutest thing, and we're not keeping any of them. And
We
there's-
kept one each. I had 10, so
Oh,
we
okay.
kept one each.
Okay.
So we have
They
8
are
to
so
give away.
cute.
We have 8 to give away, and we have 2 needle sets to give away. I got a second needle set for you guys.
And what a great gift.
Yeah.
I mean, that is
So
amazing.
one is sharp and one is non-sharp. So the first, I just did this in order of drawing. The first person will get their pick, and the second person will get the other one. So the first person is number 32, MVA 4593 from Kentucky. She knitted or crocheted a baby jacket. Number 2 winner is 103 Heidi C76 from South Dakota with her St. Patty's Day socks.
So congratulations, y'all. And I tell
Yeah.
you, you can't go wrong with either set. And it's so funny how needles are such a personal thing, because I love both kinds of these, but I prefer the sharps. Carrie prefers the
For the
steel.
long,
So, you know, I think they'll be happy with either one, because they're both
They're both
fabulous
pretty good.
needles.
They're both pretty good. And now the Panda Clicks, 8 of them. It doesn't say where you're from, but you made a woolly basket weave hat. Hooked for Life from Colleen. You made a hat for your son, number 68. Number 47, Knitting Mama 64 from Rhode Island, Mom Shrug. Number 8, Knitting Mary B from Wisconsin. You made Arnie and Carlos socks. Number 81, Renegale from Texas. You had the Hitchhiker shawl. Number 116, Shirley Knits 123 from Virginia. You had a baby blanket and a matching dragon. Number 163 was Nicole S from Saskatchewan, Canada. You had Tuffy Leaf socks. And 96, V Shaw from Canada. You had a Birkin. So congratulations, you guys all message me in Ravelry or Instagram or however you can get a hold of me. I guess we should have said, I'm Carrie. I'm a Knitfomaniac on Ravelry and Knitfomaniac on Instagram.
And I'm Darlene. I'm Bags by Awesome Granny on Instagram and Awesome Granny in Ravelry.
So reach out to me with your address and stuff so we can get this mailed. And then we also had one more, the Fiber Nymph giveaway.
Sorry.
The Fiber Nymph giveaway that we said we were gonna do this drawing. We didn't have many entries. I should say for the entries of the cow, I was numbers 2 through 219, because that ended November 30th. And then the Fiber Nymph giveaway was entries 2 through 24, and it was number 9, Renegale. Congratulations.
And I'm telling you,
So-
if anyone has never used a sock blank by Fiber Nymph, Lisa, they are fantastic.
This one's sparkly.
Her sock blanks are the softest sock blanks I have ever used. They're wonderful.
I don't know that I've used one of her sock
Oh my
blanks.
gosh, I have one. If you ever want one, I'll
Okay.
give you, because they are fantastic.
They're that great, right?
So congratulations, everyone,
Yes,
and thank y'all.
Congrats, everybody.
So-
Congrats. So, you know, it's kind of hard to, just pick up from where we left off 4 months ago. Of course, we can't go over every single thing that we did, but I'll have it in the show notes if you want to see what Darlene and I finished. But I can enter like a whole bunch of pictures right here. I've got a bunch of different ones from Darlene, and I've got a different ones from myself. We've done hats. I finished a couple of stoles. I did a shawl with the Jimmy Beans wool. Yeah, I gave it to her for
It's
Christmas.
my favorite thing.
I finished, and if you guys want to make a lace stole and you're not good at lace, myself included, you should really check out Bridget's stole. She does one every year. It's a mystery cow. She has 12 clues in the month of December, and you get finished by Christmas. You start December 1 and you're finished by Christmas. And they're just so easy to read. She has written out instructions. She has charts. They're just great. I finished the 2017 one that I had on the needles for forever, and I did the 2018 one in the month of December. And I actually won some stitch markers in
And
that cow.
the one that Carrie gave me for Christmas, it's out of this gorgeous yellow yarn. And I know it's a stole, which I think you're supposed to like wear it around your shoulders or whatever, but I use it as a scarf. It's
Uh-huh.
like the perfect width for a scarf.
It's
so
pretty wide and it's very nice.
I use it for my winter scarf. I love it so
Mhm.
much. So
I gave the other one to a friend of mine, Rosanna. I went to go see her in Houston and gave her that, and she loves that one So we've got different things. Like I said, I'll insert pictures and hats, and I think I just did one sweater that I brought. This was the test sweater. And it's available for sale.
Not the sweater, the pattern.
Yes, the
It's-
pattern. Because the test is over.
It's beautiful. It is absolutely
It's a
gorgeous.
very nice pattern, very nice.
So pretty.
I really enjoyed knitting on this. It did have some thinking parts on the edges, but it has a beautiful outcome. I mean, it's worth it. It's worth the thinking, and I usually don't think anything's worth thinking, but beautiful. So anyway, I'll insert pictures, and I've given away most of the finished objects that I finished, and so I'm sure Darlene has as well.
Yeah, I have. And can I show this?
Absolutely.
This is the cutest little thing. So
She really should sell those.
if anybody wants one, let us know. I mean,
I
I'm
want
sure.
one.
Well, you already have one. I mean, you don't have it, but Shiloh's already made you one.
Oh,
So,
thank you, Shiloh.
but I told Shiloh, I messaged Shiloh one day. I was like, Shiloh, I need a sheep rock. And she was like, you need a what? And I was like, I need a rock painted like a sheep. And so she painted me a brown one that I have at home, but Peyton made me this one for work.
The green one's the
Isn't it
greatest.
cute?
I
So
love it.
she's made you one. I just need to get it and give
Okay.
to you.
Thank
But
you, Shiloh.
but I just love it. I think it's the cute. It reminds me of Peyton every day when I see it. Peyton knows my favorite color is green, so she did me a green
Yes.
sheetrock.
Mhm.
So I love it so much. Thank you, Peyton.
It's a
So-
cute. It's so cute.
But Peyton stretched my skills, I think.
Okay.
So I made Peyton back in 2013. I made Peyton it's called a Wonderful Wallaby. It's a hoodie.
It is.
It's a hoodie.
It's a hoodie with
And
front pocket.
I made it to her in 2013, and it was oversized, you know, because it was supposed to be a sweatshirt, an oversized sweatshirt. Well, she has worn it and worn it and worn it, and she still wears it, but the sleeves were like this long on her.
I have
But now
pictures.
it's a fitted sweater. It looks really cute on her,
It
but
does look cute on
it's
her.
now fitted instead of oversized. But she wanted the sleeves fixed, and I thought, oh my God, you know, because the only thing I could think to do was like take the hood off, take the shoulders out, take all, you know, and I'm like, I'm not doing that.
The
So-
sleeves were knit from the bottom up and then set to the side while you knit the body. And then once you got to the underarm, you attached the sleeves, and then, you know, you did some decreasing and stuff, and the sleeves slowly, you know, came together. So it looks like a raglan, but it's not from the top down, it's from the bottom up.
So I had these thoughts and Carrie was still out, but I thought, okay, so how can I do this? And I thought, I'm gonna like take it apart and I'm gonna knit it, knit it from the cuff up again, and I'm going to Kitchener them
Kitchener.
together.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounded like a whole lot less work than my original way of fixing. And thank goodness I knitted it out of Knit Picks acrylic yarn, so you know that's a commercial yarn. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, getting the yarn to match what I didn't think would be a problem. But then when Carrie got back, she was like, "Why don't you just do it like an afterthought, you know,
Heel.
and just pick up stitches and knit it down, you know?" And I thought, oh, well, okay. So I was gonna pick up the stitches before I cut it, but I can't do that. That's hard. So
It's a lot easier on a sock
It
when you
is.
only have, you know, a few across.
So what I did was I
Just
literally just
cut
cut
it.
it off. And then I pulled out the stitches to where I could have
Grab them off.
a good area.
Uh-huh.
And I just picked them up and knitted it down and knitted about 3 inches, redid the cuff, and it looks great. And she
It does
loves
look
it. And
great.
the yarn matches
It
perfect.
does look great.
I think one reason the yarn matches perfect is because Carrie had some of that
And I
original
bought it
yarn.
at the same time that she bought the
So
yarn.
it matches, it fit, it looks great. I
It
was
looks
actually,
great. It does.
really
I have
proud of
pictures
myself
to
for that.
If I haven't already
So-
inserted them, I'll insert them again here, but they do look great.
so they look good, so I was
5
happy
years
with
apart.
that. And
Mhm.
she still
Still
wears
wearing
that
it.
sweater.
Mhm.
So that was a sweater worth making right
That
there.
was worth its
So,
while.
I do want to say a shout out to my motocross racer, Brinley, before we get into more of our knitting. She went to state this year on her motocross, and she won first place in state. I
Congratulations,
was so proud of her.
Brinley.
So she did really,
We're
really,
all proud of her.
really good.
That
And,
is so awesome.
And my Shannon got married.
That's right. She was just about to leave to go to a wedding when we
Mhm.
stopped.
Shannon got married.
And I think
to-
Brinley had just had a really bad accident when we last podcast.
Oh yeah, she did.
Mhm.
She had a really bad
So
motorcycle
for her
wreck.
to pick herself up and go and win state, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, she had a heart stopper of a wreck, but then she went, like Carrie said, and we were worried. We were like, is this gonna like
Discourage her.
discourage, or, kind of like scare her and not make her where she's not gonna wanna do it? But nope, she hit the ground running again, so she did good.
I have pictures of both Brinley with her state and of course of Shannon and Nina getting married.
Yeah, and we just love Nina and Shannon and the kids, and we're so happy to have Nina in the family. So, but yeah, he's all married now. He's a married man.
He's a married man.
Oh,
Paige and her best friend Bizzle went to Atlanta. They got to use a couple of the hats that I made them
Okay.
right before they went to
I have to say something. I'm going to interrupt you here because I'm going to brag about Paige.
what'd
Okay.
she do?
So this Atlanta trip, Carrie can tell you about the Atlanta trip, but I'm going to like cry again because I'm just so proud of Paige for this. Paige and Bizzle, oh my gosh, it's like I'm emotional today.
You are.
So Paige and Bizzle, and I like Bizzle too, but I love Paige, okay? She's like my kid. They go once a month or every 2 weeks or something, and they cut hair for the homeless.
Haircuts for the homeless.
Okay, who wants to go do that? Who wants to go like touch homeless people's hair? I mean, that's kind of,
Paige and Bizzle do.
I know, and I'm so proud of them for doing that. I just think that is like the coolest thing,
It is the coolest thing, and she brings that up because that's the reason that they were extended an invitation to go to Atlanta.
I need to watch
this-
Walking Dead or something to get over my emotional.
Start beating on you.
Okay, go ahead.
They do haircuts for the homeless, and the main corporation that heads that up is called Icon Talks, and I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, and I hope I don't have it wrong. And that's how they were invited because they do. She's been doing it for years, ever since she's been a certified barber, and so has Bizzle. And Bizzle's actually the contact for it. If there's any barbers in San Antonio that want to cut hair for the homeless,
I'm just so proud of them for doing that.
It's on a Sunday. I don't remember if it's like the first or the last Sunday. I think it was maybe just this past weekend. So maybe it's the last Sunday because I think she just went, or was it 2 weekends ago? I don't remember. But and they do that. So they were invited to this awards ceremony. Neither one of them were getting an award, but there were several other famous people getting an award, and they did see Charles Barkley.
That's cool.
That's who they got a picture with. I have a picture to insert when they went to Atlanta. And she had a good time. I had Antonio and the dogs for a few days, and she had a good time. She's a very young mother, and sometimes she just needs to get out.
And but
So-
and to give back, to do. I mean, I'm glad that she got to go because I think to be her age and
give back to the
and to give
community
back
like
to the
that.
community like that, I'm so proud of her. I think
I'm
that
proud of her
that's,
too. I'm proud of her too.
I think that that's awesome.
Yeah, she does a really, really great job. And then she took Antonio and she says, "I'm taking you to the barber shop to cut your hair." I have some pictures. He's such a ham. Such a ham. He knows when he gets his hair cut how good he looks. He
is
he
a
like has
cutie.
these little sly looks, as he's looking at the camera. And he needed a haircut. So, and he doesn't like to get a haircut, being that his mother's a barber. But they had a good time.
I'm so
They had a really
glad.
good time.
Glad. So I'm just proud of her. It touches
I'm
me
proud of
that
her.
she does that.
I'm proud of her. It touches me that she does it as well. It does.
Then why am I the only one crying? You
'Cause I-
hard-hearted person.
I didn't know where you were going with it.
Yeah.
It's funny because I really think that overall I'm a much more emotional person than Darlene is. I know she's all emotional.
I know
here
today
now.
I am. My God.
But I think in the long run, in the big, huge, grand scheme of things, I think I'm a much more emotional person. I usually break down at anything, but and so what else? Oh, I'm making a sweater for my niece. So.
I'm never making this sweater gifts. I'm not taking no notes.
So we were not quite podcasting 2 years ago when I made this sweater the first time. I made a sweater for Paige, There was no pattern. She sent me a picture from Pinterest or Instagram or somewhere, and she said, Mommy, can you make this for me? So I said, okay. So I bought a bunch of different cardigan patterns, and I tried to, piece it together the best that I could. I can insert a picture of pages here. I did it out of Malabrigo Rios in the Sandbank colorway, and I finished it a couple of years ago, this month, I think.
It's really pretty.
And Paige wore it to our Thanksgiving dinner with my entire family. And my niece saw it, Grace, and she really, really liked it. And I thought, I just put it together. I didn't take any notes. When I was knitting on it, like Darlene just said, I said, I'm never knitting this thing again.
I remember-
I'm not going to knit this
I
pattern
remember
again.
when
What?
she was making it, I was like, are you gonna write up the pattern? No, I'm never making this pattern
Yeah,
again.
I was like, no, I'm not going to write up a pattern. I'm just like, I'm winging it, like I could write a pattern. And just put it together. And of course, now Grace wants one, and I do love my niece. So I'm making one for her. And her birthday is March 21st. Are we on the 21st now?
We are.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yep, a month from today.
Yeah, so I have to,
If you don't finish it, she'll
I know
you'll
she'll
be fine,
understand.
but I know that you wanna try to finish it.
I will push very hard. I will work on nothing but this for a while if that's what I have to do.
Well, good, because that'll give me time to get caught up on some of my other patterns.
So I am making that, and you're working on, look, she's working on socks.
I am. Peyton asked me, I make Peyton pretty much whatever she asks for.
Mhm.
Because like I said, she was wearing a sweater I made her in 2013. She's a very knit-worthy kid. And so she asked me, she said, Granny, will you make me a pair of socks? And so I cast on a pair of socks. And
Awesome.
they're just a basic, sock. And
Vanilla.
she has a big foot, so I know they look big, but I'm making them my size because she has a size 7 foot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she's got a big foot. So this is just string theory, yarn.
Continuum.
Continuum soft. It has cashmere in it, so they're super soft. But I'm making these for Peyton. So
I didn't bring anything else that I'm working on.
you didn't?
What else do you have?
Well, I have Peyton. I have this sweater that I started for Peyton. It's called I have no idea how to say that. I don't know how to say it. But it reminds me of a sweater that
Feule.
it reminds me of a sweater that Carrie made Paige a few years ago. But
Which was called the Breezy Cardigan, I think.
Yeah. So I wanted to make Peyton a new sweater. So I've got the body done. Well, yeah, I guess the body would be done.
Yeah, except for the collar. The whole
And
body's done.
I'm fixing to
I'll
start the
insert pictures,
collar.
of course.
It has 10 billion inches of ribbing, but I've got to pick up stitches now for the shawl collar and then do the sleeves, and it will be done. So, trying to get that done for her. And then I brought a sweater I'm making for Shyla, but I'm trying to I'm trying to get some things done.
She
And
wants
you
to
can't
finish more
get
things this
anything
year
done
than-
if you jump around all the time. So I have the Weekender sweater for Shyla that is not, I'm sorry Shyla, it's not hardly done, not much done at all. But I wanted to get Peyton's done, and then I'll work on Shyla's and get Shyla's done.
I'm also making the Weekender sweater. I don't know how many of you guys are on Instagram and have seen Colorful Eclectics 16 Weeks of Weekender, which I don't even remember when it started. I don't know if it was late last year or early this year.
I think it was in January.
Yeah, so she's got this, and I know that there's tons of people doing it on Instagram. If you look at that hashtag 16 Weeks of Weekender.
There's
And,
actually 3 of us here at work that are doing it.
Yeah, there are. So I have one of these
So-
too. I can insert my picture. Mine's in cotton burnt orange.
But this is for Shyla. So after I finish Peyton's, I'm gonna really concentrate on getting this finished for Shyla. So I guess that's all I brought. Oh, and I have a hat that I started for Shyla. Out of your yarn, I don't even know what these are, but.
It looks amazing.
So this is for Shyla. And it
This is Biscott Hagrid yarn in the charcoal colorway. The Scott yarn, it's got little tiny specks in it, because it's a tweed. This is called Farmer's Daughter, and I don't remember the colorway name, but the name brand is Farmer's Daughter. But it's got like oranges and grays, and I'll put it in the notes, or it's in my stash somewhere. I did make Paige a hat with, or no, myself a hat. I actually gave it to Bizzle.
You did.
Bizzle ended up getting a hat with this one. And,
No, that was the yarn that you made Frosty. No?
I made Frosty with camel in this with a solid gray.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm making it's called the Fowler's Cap by Caitlin Hunter.
Oh, that's pretty. I like that.
I'll send it to you.
And I love the way this is looking.
I really like
It
it.
looks great. I'll take a picture, but it looks really, really great.
Shyla really loves the mohair in the hats.
Paige is enjoying the mohair in the hats
So
too.
Carrie and I have been kind of on a mohair kick.
We have. We've done a bunch of mohair hats.
Mhm.
I made Paige 2 and Bizzle 2. I made the Kobuck, which I also think was by Caitlin Hunter.
I believe it is.
Um,
You made 3 of
I
those.
made
I've
3
made 2 of those.
2 went to Bizzle and 1 went to Paige, and then I made a Frosty hat with mohair in it, and that went to Paige.
I made a couple of those for Shyla, and I've made Peyton a couple of hats, and made Casey an antler, the antler hat by Tin
Mhm.
Can Knits. It turned out really, really good.
It did turn out really
I
good.
really liked
She
it.
mailed it to the wrong address, and he still got it.
He did get it. I was so
Mhm,
happy.
He still got it.
He still
He
got
still
it.
got it. I have made a hat for Casey and a hat for Brinley.
Oh, they're gonna love these so much.
And I'm gonna start a hat for Kagan so I can ship them all together. I don't have Kagan's done. I couldn't finish it in time to podcast, but this one is Casey's. So you remember Brinley is the one that rides motocross, and her colors are hot pink and Kawasaki green. So this one's for Casey with green as the main color, and it's the larger hats. And then this one's for Brinley, which is the pink is the main color, and it's the smaller hat. You can see it.
They're gonna love those so much.
So, and then Kagan is getting gray.
She's a gray girl.
She's a gray girl, which is just like Paige. Paige is a gray girl. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's funny. Carrie asked me. She said, "What pattern would Kagan like?" And I told her, I said, basically anything that Paige will like, Kagan will like.
So then I started texting Paige to get a pattern from Paige, and Paige picked out her pattern,
And Kagan will love it.
and I was like, okay, well, that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be in gray.
So Carrie has lots of pictures of all the hats. So
Yeah,
it's hard to
you know,
talk about them when we don't have them to.
If I've either
to
put them at
show.
the beginning of the podcast, because we mostly insert pictures here anyway. The iPad is pretty far from us for us to, reach all the way across the table to show you something zoomed in. And if I bring the camera, that camera zoom function it drives me crazy when I edit it. So I
Yeah.
can only imagine it drives you guys crazy when you watch
So-
it.
But y'all all know Carrie and I made a Citadel a couple of years ago. And I think Carrie ended up giving her Citadel to Paige. I ended up giving my Citadel to Shyla for a couple of reasons. One reason is it looks great on Shyla, but the other reason is it's so heavy.
It's a pretty
The
heavy
yarn that
sweater.
I made is Beaver Slide. It's the Beaver Slide, and it is a really, really warm sweater. And I mean, I don't get cold enough for that heavy of a sweater. So I gave it to Charlotte. And so she asked me, she said, "Mama, will you make me a hat to match my sweater?" And I told her yes, because I had another skein leftover yarn. So I told her, I said, "I'll make you a hat." So I made her and I made it for this hat of the month thing that we're doing.
Mhm.
It's called Turn a Wheel hat, I
I
think.
think it's on the next
Turn a wheel. But so I told Charles, "Yeah, I'll make it for
Hat
you."
like a wheel.
Hat like a wheel. I ran out of yarn, and so I called.
Mind you, she bought this yarn years ago.
Yeah, about 5 years ago, and I called Leanne at Beaver Slide Dry Goods, and I said, "Do you have any of this yarn in this colorway? Your old colorway?" And she was like, "I don't." And she said, and the new colorway is a lot brighter, and she said it will be a visible difference. So Ravelry to the rescue. I got on Ravelry, and there's not a lot of projects with that particular colorway in that dye lot. But I did find a couple of people, and I reached out to them, and this one lady had a whole skein. Well, a partial skein, but it must have been very little
Pretty
used
full.
on it. And she sent it to me, and I was able to finish Shiloh's hat. So.
And Leanne also sent her some.
She did. Leanne
She found some
some,
and sent her some.
but it
It was just shy of still finishing the hat. So
it
then
was
she
like
had the lady
6
from,
rows short, and I
so
was
then
like,
she had the
oh.
lady from Ravelry.
So anyway, I finished Shiloh's hat. It looks,
And it looks great on her.
It looks
There's a
so
picture
good.
that I'll insert, and
So-
it looks great with her matching Citadel.
So
I am
So-
actively working on the Weekender, and then Grace's sweater, and then I talked Darlene into doing a crochet club at Jimmy Bean's Wool, and we're making a poof. Is that how you say it?
I think so. It's a footstool.
It's a footstool. It's like an ottoman, like a small ottoman, like footstool thing. And it's crocheted and you stuff it and everything.
It's so
3 months
cute.
long, so like January you got some mini skeins and the first part of the pattern, and then recently we just got our February mini skeins of sheep cheese wool.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how to say that brand.
That's
Of that
Rolana.
yarn. Yeah, and we recently got that, so I haven't done my second clue yet, but
And I'm enjoying it so much.
I
And
am
if,
too.
If it turns out as cute as I'm hoping, then I want to make Shiloh one for her house, and I like to make Casey one for his new house.
Yeah, I think
So,
that'd be great.
Because it's fun, it's easy, and
Kind
you
of
know.
goes quick and not a lot of thinking.
So
So
I
it's really
actually
neat.
really am enjoying it.
So that's what I'm actively working on, and then I'll cast on Katie's hat tonight because I have the yarn here.
And then we have things we want. Is that all that you're working on?
I
We're going to
think
get to
so.
things we want to make.
I think, yeah, what we want to make. What a girl wants.
Yeah, and
what
we have a
girl
lot.
needs.
This is going to be the year of the sweaters for us.
I think so. I think
you know, I don't.
so.
I'm not really planning on making any shawls because the year goes by so fast, and there's so many sweaters we want to make. Well,
A
I
shawl
have.
is a faster gratification than a sweater, and while we may have to knit a few hats in between each of our sweaters, I think I'll get more use out of sweaters than I will out of shawls.
And I think my family will too. You know, my family will get use out of hats and sweaters. So I have a couple of sweaters that I want to make. And I want to make. So there's a story behind this one. Shyla picked out this pattern. She saw Carrie sent me this pattern, and I showed it to Shyla, and she just like flipped for it. But it's called the bulky easy one. Okay, Hohi, if you're watching, you have a fingering weight of this, and you have a bulky weight of this, but you don't have a worsted weight of this.
Yeah.
I need you to
she's-
make a
she's
worsted weight.
worsted.
So I
She was
swatched.
gonna use the yarn that she's using in her weekender
Mhm.
for the bulky one, but it wasn't working.
I
because it was
couldn't get
worsted.
gauge.
She
I
couldn't
could
get-
not, and it just looked terrible.
And
I-
it just drove her crazy.
Well, it looked terrible. I mean, the gauge looked awful, and I couldn't. And I was like, "So what am I going to do, Carrie?" She was like, "Make the weekender
With the gray.
get some bulky yarn." So I got this really pretty. So I started the weekender out of the gray, and then I got this really pretty blue. And I don't know why I got this. I have no idea why I got blue for Charlotte. Did I just think it was pretty, or did
Yeah, and I thought it would go good with like a pair of jeans
like
or
jeans or something?
Mhm.
But and if you don't like this blue shawl, let me know. I'll do something else. But I got
I
this.
have to take a picture of it. It's kind of, it looks a little black.
It's a
in there,
denim
but
blue. I think
it
it's
is.
really pretty for Shyla for
Mhm.
this. And then I really want to make Casey a sweater. I want to make him the brownstone. I really want to make it out of this yarn that Carrie's using.
This is Malabrigo Rios in the Paris Night colorway, 52.
But then I'm kind of like, I'm in a debate with myself. As much as I want to buy this yarn to make Casey this sweater, I have this yarn.
She has tweed, which is very pretty.
It is very pretty. So
It's
I'm
very
like,
nice.
do I just make it Casey this sweater out of this and not buy this? So my logical self says yes, because I already have this.
But we'll see what happens.
But I really
Stay
love
tuned.
this. I know. So those are on my list of things to want to make.
It's gonna be
for
like one
Casey,
of those
for
books
Charlotte.
where you read the book and then you get to certain pages. Is if you think he wants to go this way, go to page
No.
72, and if you think he's going to
I
go this way,
know.
go to page 98.
Because I really love this yarn, but I have this
very
yarn, and
beautiful
I do
yarn.
like this yarn. So I don't know. So we'll have. But I have told myself I'm not buying any of this yarn until I finish my weekender. for Shyla.
Correct, yes, she
So-
has to finish the weekender. She has to finish the weekender. So we also, and I don't think I brought a picture of it, I could probably find it on my phone, and I'm sure everybody knows, or has seen it maybe on Instagram, but it's called All the Light. I should have just done that one. First, we want to do this one. Yeah, well, I was gonna get All the Lights up. All the Lights by Joji Locatelli. There we go.
It's so beautiful.
It's kind of hard to see. It's called All of the Lights. And Darlene and I both have yarn for this. We have Madeline Tosh in the Holly Grunge colorway, and I have Cosmic Silver that I think will look great with this.
I do too.
And this pattern looks very hard. But it's very beautiful. And it reminds me a lot of Citadel,
It does me
which
too.
is what we did, so many years ago. But it's got a pretty funky construction from what I can tell from all the pictures on Instagram. So I told her, I said, this might be one that we need to cast on, fairly soon, and that we just work on it a little bit at a time, like a whole year of cardigan on this. Because I don't think that this is just a cardigan that I can make, like, in a 3-month stretch, even if I was monogamous, because I think the thinking of it would be too much for
Well, you
me.
know what you have to do before we start? You have to get
I'll
those tables
I'll have to
together.
make,
Yeah.
I'll make charts for her, because I'll
So,
have to do.
once you get that done, we can start.
Okay, I'll get that
So-
done. And then we also, I made a Vortex cardigan. I tested it for Louise at Biscott Yarns, and she has released the pattern. She had it free for a day in December, and it's a beautiful pattern, and it is so much fun to knit. And then when she came out with her latest pattern, she added brioche and color work and a cable to it. Vortex.
So she basically took a pretty mindless pattern and made it a thinker.
She did.
But it is gorgeous.
So, and she named the colors, and Darlene, for my birthday, bought me the colors of this sweater. We have it all sitting in
We
front
do.
of us.
And so we got us, and Carrie was like, the only way I want to make it is if you make it with me. And I told her, okay, for your birthday, we will
Oh, this
make,
one's Madeline's.
we will make this sweater.
For my
So,
birthday.
so for Carrie's birthday, I got her the yarn, I got me the yarn
These are all the
for,
colors.
for this sweater.
We have, I think you need 2 of this one, and 2 of the gray, and then 1 of each of these. This is plum pounding, salt and pepper, and the tray for that ray. I'm sure it's a French word that I'm chopping up and butchering, but one of these. And this is Julie Rose, and the gray is blue clear.
I'm anxious to start that one too.
This
So-
one, I think, is gonna be much more mindless. Now, the beginning
Oh,
is
no.
brioche.
I mean,
So
it's
once we
got-
can get through the brioche.
But it has color work in it.
But we won't
so-
get to that for a while. We won't get to that. That's gonna be
But I
towards
am
the
looking
end.
forward to that. But these two that I want to make, Casey and Shyla, these are fast. I saw a lady that made this one in 14 days.
Wow.
And this one is bulky. I mean, both of these are going to be
I think somebody
really
made that
fast.
one like in a weekend.
Yeah, so these, I think, these aren't going to be like months worth of work. I think I can make both of these relatively quick. And, Shyla's teeny tiny, so, and Casey, his, but these two for us
Yeah,
are
'cause
going to
we're, like,
be,
extra large people.
well, and they're not bulky yarn. This is DK.
It's DK.
So, but these are the two this year that are going to be from me and Carrie.
Yes,
So,
those are the ones. They're gonna be fun.
and I do want to get us one started because I mean you're working on all stuff for other people. I'm working on all stuff for other people, so we need to start one of them
Okay.
for us.
Okay. We may be starting the brioche before the cables, because I have to get those cables together. Just
Okay.
depends how long it takes me to make that spreadsheet.
I'm really excited about because it starts out with this one and this one,
Mhm.
and I love this one. I I think it's so
Very
pretty.
nice. And there's two skeins of
So-
both of those, so that's the main colors.
I'm excited about that. So yeah, we should probably start that. And brioche is not my friend.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It will be your friend. We'll get it. It's just like 12 rows, and then we're gonna go straight into
Okay,
knitting.
I can do it. I can do
Yeah.
it.
I think that's all we have. We didn't want to like make it this a huge long thing. We're already at 40 minutes. We'd like to keep it between 30 and 50, so we're probably perfect right now, somewhere in there.
And hopefully, we can keep more things to show. I mean, we did finish a lot of stuff, but
And I've probably
it's already
peppered the
been-
pictures throughout here.
And it's been everything's been rehomed,
Mhm.
gone to their homes.
Mhm.
But kids are getting ready for spring break here, so we're, my grandkids. I don't know about y'all's kids out in the podcast world, but my grandkids are so ready for school to be done. They're not ready
Yeah.
for just spring break. They're ready for like it to be over.
Mhm.
So
Just finished May already.
yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
I think my grandkids are the same.
So,
All right.
Well, I
So
think
if you
that's-
were a winner, congratulations. Send me a PM, and hopefully we'll be back in about a month. If you guys want to do another cowl, reach out to us and let us know what you want to do because we don't have anything going on right now.
we have some great sweaters we can do a cowl with
Yeah,
if y'all
we
want to
can.
join us.
If y'all want to join us or whatever. And other than that, we'll see you in a month. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.